The machine ran an algorithm that shaved votes from Trump.
This is a story about the intersection of depravity and insanity. And standing right in the middle, this guy.
Do you believe you were blacklisted from Fox News?
Oh, 100%. I've been told. I mean, listen, I have lots of...
What were you told exactly?
Well, I won't call out the people because I have lots of good friends still at Fox that are on TV.
But what's the explanation you got?
Well, I had people book me the day my father got indicted. I had people book me to speak at, one of the sort of evening hours. And 5 minutes before the interview is supposed to start, this is when they were sending vans around. Hey, the van's not here. Oh, we found someone who's better able to speak to your father. I'm like, I don't know.
As you heard, Trump Jr. is claiming he's been banned from Fox News, although they say he was just on the other day, and he was. Now, normally, I'd say these two deserve each other, but Jr. may have a point, and Fox may have a good reason.
Because again, we want to be out there. We want to be able to get that message out there. I think I deliver it fairly well most of the time. So we'll see what happens.
Trump Jr. is not very bright, and his father said that to friends many times. And there's actually evidence now that Jr. is a little dim, and he almost cost his father the 2016 election.
He organized a meeting at Trump Tower in New York City with the Trump campaign team for a Russian lawyer with links to the Kremlin. At Trump Tower, as the Russians, including Kremlin-linked lawyer Natalia Veselnitskaya, sat across the table from Paul Manafort, Jared Kushner, and Don Trump Jr. Only later was it revealed Don Trump Jr. had taken the meeting on the promise of damaging information about Hillary Clinton.
Jr. faced allegations of treason when back in June of 2016, he and Paul Manafort, then Trump's campaign chairman, who later was convicted of a felony and went to prison, and Jared Kushner, Trump's senior son-in-law, met at Trump Tower with a Russian lawyer, who the New York Times said had connections to the Kremlin.
То есть я являюсь адвокатом.
In emails exchanged with Trump Jr. to arrange the meeting was, quote, to provide the Trump campaign with some official documents and information that would incriminate Hillary Clinton and her dealings with Russia. But it wasn't Hillary who had dealings with Russia. The email went on and said, this is obviously very high level and sensitive information, but it's part of Russia and its government support for Mr. Trump. Jr. responded by saying, I love it. And here's the rub. Jr. actually violated federal election law, but he couldn't be prosecuted because, and wait for it, he wasn't smart enough to understand the charges.
He just moved to a blue state, basically going to do nothing, unlike all the prior presidents. A small nuclear war, not a big one, that could be.
Which is actually in the statute. Jr. was saved by his own stupidity.
Insanity after insanity.
This while Eric admitted that Trump gets all their money from Russia.
Here's how Dodson remembers the conversation.
I said to Eric, well, you're the head of his golf services development company. Who's funding all this? I remember very clearly what he said. He said, no, we don't need American banks. We have all the funding we need out of Russia.
Junior's meeting with Russians was a big deal, colluding with an enemy to help you win an election.
Why shouldn't I root for Russia, which I am?
And later, Russians would be revealed to not only have hacked the DNC servers, then released emails to WikiLeaks to assist Trump in the 2016 election, but used social media to divide America.
Donald Trump Jr. And Jared Kushner were apparently both of them involved in this. And this was an effort to get opposition research on an opponent in an American political campaign from the Russians who are known to be engaged in spying inside the United States. We do not get our opposition research from spies. We do not collaborate with Russian spies unless we want to be accused of treason. And I could say I worked for 2.5 years as the chief ethics lawyer of the Bush administration. The Bush administration never would have tolerated this. And if this story is true, we'd have one of them, if not both of them, in custody by now. And we'd be asking them a lot of questions because this is unacceptable. This borders on treason. If it is not, it's self-treason, depending on whether the New York Times story is true. But this is a very, very serious situation. We should not treat this lightly. And the fact it was a 10-minute meeting is irrelevant. You can accomplish a lot by way of damaging your own country, assisting an adversary in espionage inside the United States in 10 minutes. And we need to make sure this never happens again.
I get why Fox doesn't want him on. I mean, Junior offers nothing. And he has a lot of baggage for a network who lost $1 billion bet allowing other Trump idiots to spread lies about voting machines. I mean, Junior is a classic nepotism gone wrong. He's unstable and can't answer questions without help.
And to show sort of the level of hatred in that media that we keep talking about, but it is so important because it's still the filter by which everyone gets their news. It's because people hijack it with nonsense looking to go for some sort of soundbite. You have people spreading nonsense, spreading hate, to try to take over that room.
No,
and that's the real issue with the room.
It's because you're not making your parents proud by being rude and disruptive and discourteous. We are happy to answer a question.
Trump Jr. has stepped in at plenty, having friends in the white nationalist movement and buddying up to this turd.
I don't need stimulants. Anything alcohol I've done over the years off and on because it lowers me down. See, the left doesn't have energy, folks. They don't get like Don Jr. giving a powerful speech. And I mean, he's really becoming a good orator. One of the best. I mean, just a couple years ago, he was okay. Now I'm like, damn, that's a powerful speech. That's better than Joel Osteen or somebody or Martin Luther King.
I have a cocaine addiction.
But the real reason Fox News doesn't want Jr. on is the same reason that Trump Sr. never trusted his judgment.
What struck me as I looked back and thought about the exchange between Don Jr. and his father was first, that Mr. Trump had frequently told me and others that his son Don Jr. had the worst judgment of anyone in the world. And also that Don Jr. would never set up any meeting of significance alone, and certainly not without checking with his father.
So Fox has to ask itself, do we want this on our network?
And they lied about Russia collusion. They said he was a traitor. They went after him in every which way possible. If the media actually starts being an honest broker, talking about the things that he did, the prosperity he brought, the peace deals that he signed around the world, rather than the disaster that we're living right now, I think you'd do everyone in the country a big favor.
I know immigration's important to him. I covered the family separation crisis closely. Will we continue to see policies like separating 5,000 children deliberately from their parents?
You mean the Obama administration?
You know they didn't do that, sir.
Okay, sure.
Will there be a second family separation policy?
It's MSDNC, so I expect nothing less from you clowns. Even today, even 48 hours later, you couldn't wait. You couldn't wait with your lies and with your nonsense. So just get out of here.
But here's where I kind of have to defend Jr.'s case. Yeah, he's a lot. But think of the people Fox has had on their network over the years.
It's time for my angle part 2. AOC's climate change con.
I mean, it's a who's who of what's what.
New evidence showing Rupert Murdoch, Fox News host, and executives knew Trump was knowingly lying about 2020 election fraud. But they put it on the air anyway for profits and power. A trove of texts and emails released in a new filing from Dominion Voter Systems, suing Fox News for $1.6 billion in a defamation suit. The claim is Fox News knowingly lied about their company, and now we have receipts. In private texts, Fox News host called Trump and his lawyers' election claims total BS, insane, crazy, mind-blowingly nuts, reckless, off the rails, and effing lunatics. These are not mean tweets. These are actual texts from Fox News hosts. Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, and Laura Ingraham were in disbelief off camera on Trump's conspiracy theories. Carlson texting Ingraham, quote, "Sidney Powell is lying, by the way. I caught her. It's insane." The response, quote, "Sidney is a complete nut. No one will work with her. Ditto with Rudy."
Yeah, that bar is low, but Fox is a low bar experience.
White supremacy, it's actually not a real problem in America.
They've allowed Rudy and Sidney Powell to lie, and it cost them $1 billion. How much could JR cost?
Would you consider Tucker Carlson on your VP list?
I like Tucker a lot. I guess I would.
This is a story of a multi-billion-dollar media company that decided to jettison any and all honor, integrity, and responsibility for a buck, and in the process, create a network of whores, selling out their country for that beach house and a chauffeured limousine. And the same network that protected Trump lied to millions of people about everything from Russia to January the 6th. And eventually, they will try and pivot away from MAGA, Jr., and even his father, but not until it's too late. I mean, just yesterday, Fox allowed guests to blame Biden for the 20-year-old Republican's assassination attempt, even if it might fuel more violence and attacks.
The guys in the room here are like, oh, hey, oh, hey. Like, hey, wait a minute.
So if Fox is really going to try to keep Jr. off the air, that's like putting screen doors on a submarine. It's too little and it's too late.
Who's with me?
I don't want to talk about this stuff.
Out of sheer morbid curiosity, I'm allowing this freak show to continue.
This isn't their Republican Party anymore.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, right.
TikTok. You're in a lot of trouble, Donnie.
I think he's crazy.
I'm Chip Franklin.